bought 88 award camper, and I thought it would be helpful to just go over some of the things that we've had to do, because this is something that a lot of people need to do. Ours has rot. It's not beyond repair, but yeah, we've been working steady on it. We only have a limited time and money, so we've been really weighing out what do we do, how do we do it, and yet we want a quality product when we're done. So today I'm gonna talk about just a delamination around the windows, and hopefully we'll do some videos on frame rot and things like that. I shouldn't say frame rot, just where the walls meet the floor, things like that. Those are things that we're going to be tackling. Right now you can see we've got delamination and discoloration, and yeah, it's looking pretty ugly. One thing I did pretty much the exact same thing in the back bedroom, and Sherry mentioned, yeah, I was in and out of the camper so many times with a piece of paneling. We ended up putting paneling over top of this, just 1/4 inch. Actually, it's more like 3/16. It's like similar to Luan plywood. It was very smooth, easy to paint, takes paint well, and that's what we used. And we just covered it up. We're covering it because we're confident that the framework around the windows, up in the roof, and everywhere related to this is good at this point. So that's why we did what we did. Made a cardboard template for at least part of this. Got it exactly, did the best job I could to, get the shape. And that's where I started. Where the cardboard's easy to work with. Or just snip around the edge with scissors or utility knife or whatever. This is a piece of 3/16 plywood that I cut for the spot I showed you before. Yeah, I've had this in and out like a dozen times. The cardboard template helped me get it really close, but I'm looking for really tight seams that I can just throw a bead of caulk against the edge and paint. So I'm pretty much needing a very good fit. And I did not put the window opening in right away because this gets very flexible. One mistake I made in the back bedroom, you can imagine like this, if I had this cut out, I'd probably break it right here, getting it in and out, maybe break it across there. That's what happened in the back bedroom, and I had some patching to do, and I didn't want to do that again. Now, a problem that I was thinking about is, okay, but the window needs to be cut out. How am I going to do that, So what I did, here I cut the corners out, but left spots in the middle. And yeah, you can see there's a spot that isn't cut. And I just did plunge cutting with my skill saw. I'm just gonna show you a little bit how that's done. One thing I didn't mention before is before I cut this out, of course I had the template, plus I also went in, did a ton of measuring. This is probably hard to tell on the video, but I had all the measurements of where this cutout is, where the window cutout is. where all my notches had to be. This was all mapped out before I started. I laid it out on the plywood, and yeah, that's what I did. I'm gonna take this. Hopefully it's still, yeah, it's feeling pretty rigid. Yeah, so I think this is gonna work. And I'm pretty happy with this fit. I need to be honest and say I probably had this in and out 15 times where it was a little tight here. So I'd go in and I used an 8-inch DA sander that I used for body work with a rough disc on, where I could take off, you know, a 16, 32nd, whatever it took to get a really nice seam here. And what I'm going to do, I bought an electric nailer and 18 gauge nails, and I'm going to glue this and just I need to mark where there's of course around the windows and along the edge there's good wood to hit, but there's also a stud running through here that I have to mark. And also I've had no problems with nails over penetrating, like when there's only the 1/8 inch paneling behind this. So I've been, you know, nailing it where I know it's firm, and then out in the open been just throwing some nails in there too, and that seems to be working well. Dripping because underneath this I just have stuff that's all gets covered up anyway. Just making it as tight to the top of the ceiling as I can. Push it real tight here. And I'm gonna work around the window, I kind of like from the middle out. Have a pencil mark where there's a stud underneath here. One thing I mentioned about leaving the window in, when I was handling this in the garage, turning it over, I could hear it crunch. So I'm very confident if I didn't leave this in, I would have probably. One thing I didn't mention, now this isn't something that I do every day, so I'm open to, if someone says, hey, it would have been easier to do this or this or this, yeah, I'm open to that. This just seemed to make sense to me, and after doing the back bedroom and some of the failures back there, this made sense. It's working. I hope it works for you. Anyway, behind this, there's probably, behind this paneling, there's a 1/4 inch of space before I'm hitting window frame or anything. Now the window frame, the edge of the window frame gets covered up by trim anyway. So let's say worst case scenario, I hit that with a Sawzall. It's not going to be a big deal. I do need to be careful with this because if I'm not careful, I can cause some damage. But I'm thinking it's going to work for me. Okay, I think my idea worked. Hey, we can see out again. I like it.